All right, folks, welcome back to episode 48 of the Ginger Ball Podcast. We're coming to you now after maybe one of the greatest NBA playoff basketball games of the last decade, for sure, of the last 25 years, probably. Beck in the shades today. We also had the PGA Championship over the weekend. Aaron Rai wins that. We have the Phillies cooking. We have Sixers firing Daryl Morey. A lot to get to on this pod. But first, Beck, how are we doing, brother?
Great week in the PGA Championship, man. I thought that was a terrific tournament, regardless of how you feel about the finish. I thought it was an electric finish, personally. So that was great to see in the heart of Newtown Square. That game last night, definitely a thriller. But I am hearing that take a lot, that it's one of the greatest, like that one's being championed. I feel like that's a universal take. I just think people are very reactionary in the moment.
Recency bias?
I wouldn't call that a top three game of the last decade, personally. And I think a lot
Top
of people
three?
would.
You wouldn't give it top three the last decade?
There's been a lot of great games, man.
There have, dude, but this was.
And then
All right.
people's counterpoint to that would be the stakes of this game.
So what three games? You have 2016 Game 7, which is like barely the last decade. So we'll count that. Then are you going to go?
I mean, I thought Denver OKC last year was the Aaron Gordon game when it was like a better game than that.
Better game than that?
Yes.
I think the finish was great. And it was
That
a
was a great game
heavyweight
throughout.
battle throughout, but I don't know, man. The Wemby performance, like
I think the Wemby, like the shock factor of it to like, you know, just the whole world. Like this is probably like the first time some people, like very casual basketball fans, saw him, especially at this level. Like it's the best game of his career. I think down the line, like it'll probably get propped up more in history just because this will be like the point people look
it's
at
like
as
the
like where it all
ascendancy.
started. So
Well, that's
I get it in this like the grand scheme of things, but just like in the moment as a basketball game, I can't say that's a top three game like definitively, which I think a lot of people just do spur of the moment, pun intended.
spur of the moment special. Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head with like the Wemby portion of it really carrying it because you don't get a good Shea game. Like if you were to put this as say in greatest playoff games ever discussions, which like I'm not doing that. I don't think you're doing that. But you didn't get the two top guys both at the top of their powers, which is what you kind of need in those like all-time great games. So you get a shitty Shea performance, you get a shitty Chet performance, and then you get like a Caruso masterclass, which is, I mean, came out of.
And like that's not even what I'm pointing to though. Like the main thing is I'm more interested to see like the adjustments these teams make throughout the series. And I don't think the OKC came in with like a great game plan to stop Wemby, first of all. I think they just wanted to see if like the Jokic kind of game plan, put a small guy on Wemby would
They
be the way to
tried it.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think they rode that the whole game. I think they went with like Caruso's too small. I think
Yeah.
you got to like if you're going to employ that, you got to go with the wing,
Yeah.
which I think could, but they don't really have a like Dort would be the guy I would try if I'm going like with the small approach rather than Caruso.
Yeah, I agree.
And
But
I think
then, yeah.
they went to Caruso because he gave Jokic so much trouble last year, but completely
Yeah.
different prototypes of players. I mean, just Wemby's ability to be mobile is way more, it's like a 180 to Nikola Jokic. So you can't really like claw up under him, scratch him and shit. And
Yeah.
like the amount of just free lobs they gave up at the end of the game, like that shit was like too easy. So if you're looking at it from that scope, which I am, I think down the line in the series when, both teams have they're coming with counter attacks or however you want to describe it as like game plans. I think
Hmm.
that like I'm looking forward to like down the line game 5 when this is 2-2. I think
Yeah.
that could be a better game because right now, like the first game of this was a feeling out process for both teams, even though they played 5 times in the regular season. Like regular season, the postseason, you don't get teams making or in the regular season, you don't get teams making rapid fire adjustments like their seasons on the line, like you do in the playoffs. It's a completely different ball game.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the Thunder try several adjustments in this game. They did stick to a smaller guy on Wemby for the greater portion of the game. Obviously, you had kind of Chet more in like a little bit of like a roaming role where he would come over and help, but it was always too late, which I thought was, I mean, we should get to that because you and I have both discussed how OKC, the key to beating them is stopping Chet. And that seems to be like anytime he doesn't play well are tend to be the games that they lose, especially in the
Yep.
playoffs. What do you think is his route back into the series in terms of being meaningfully productive? Because I really just think Wemby fucking owns him, and like I don't really know outside of him maybe being more aggressive shooting the basketball. I don't really know how he sort of asserts his will in this series, I guess. What do you think
Yeah, I mean,
what's
my
the
my
yeah,
answer to
go ahead.
that was going to be impose his will. Has got to be where it
Yeah.
starts, and hopefully that's like with Dagnall giving him the rope to actually cover Wemby one on one, because they're trying to use him as a roamer. And then on the offensive side of the ball, he's not going to be a big factor in the series if they continue to use him as just a spot up shooter. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just how he's deployed right now. So I can't really even blame him if that's the way that they're going to play this. I think you got to give him post touches or run some pick and roll. Like I don't they haven't tried to put Wemby in the pick and roll and all. And I think extending him out from being inside it would help them a lot. So I would try to get him into like 2, 3 actions in one possession, just like run the first one just to run and get him on the move and like keep him moving, but outside of the painted area as much
Hmm.
as you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested to see. I think offensively, especially we talked about like what they're going to do with Wemby on the defensive side, but offensively, I mean, Shea really struggled, obviously, in this one, 7 for 23 from the field. And credit to Sean Sweeney, credit to Mitch Johnson and that Spurs coaching staff. They had a great game plan. They threw numbers at Shea. Carter Bryant was giving him hell out on the perimeter. Castle was giving him hell. They were like blitzing him up high and forcing him to pass out of it, which he's weirdly been a bit more flustered over the last 2 rounds of the playoffs. Like I don't know what's like going on with him. Maybe it's because the shot's not falling right now, so like everything else becomes a little bit more panicked. But I think the offensive side for OKC is maybe even more interesting because you're right. They have to figure out a way to get Chet more involved. He was a ghost in this one. J-Dub was very good for his first game back. I think that's kind of the silver lining is like this is probably the worst version of J-Dub you're going to get because this is like the least healthy he'll be unless
Yeah.
he re-injures it. So I think that's big for them. Caruso, I don't think you're going to get another. I mean, they're going to let him shoot. So maybe he has another heater like this in this
Yeah, I think
series.
you can get like one more outlier game from him
Yeah,
this
but
series,
you're
but
not going to get 8 for 14 from
yeah.
three. Yeah. So like I
Nor
don't
should
know.
you want that. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't bode
Yeah, that's
well
not
for
a good
them.
formula.
But interesting you mentioned Jada because I think he is the key to if they get over the hump in the series ultimately.
Yeah.
I forget who I was listening to last night, but they made a great point that like J-Dub much more effective with the floater than Shea is. And in that kind of in between area when you have Wemby there, like the floater
Yeah.
is like the most important shot in the series if you're gonna have him all the way in the key. And he had a couple last night that looked good, and Shea just doesn't even like shoot them. You know,
No.
like to say
No,
he's
yeah, he wants the
he-
midi.
yeah.
Yeah.
And these Spurs defenders have great length. Like he can't get that shot off as
Mhm.
easily as he. I mean, the last 2 teams they played in the first 2 rounds, like they didn't have the personnel to even throw anything at him that was challenging for him. But the Lakers did a good job. A lot of the shit that they did game plan wise, you saw the Spurs do it, but the Spurs just have A+ personnel compared to C+ personnel that the Lakers did.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I think the obvious chess move for OKC here, that I mentioned to you top of the show with iHeart, but same goes with Chet. Like I'm running those bigs with 4 guards, and I'm including J Dub as one of the guards in there. So I'm giving McCain like a lot of run in
Yeah.
this series because on the other end, who I can hide him pretty easily. I feel like with the Spurs roster as it's constructed, right? Because you can put Shea on Harper, and I'm not too worried about Fox. I'm really not. And even like you wouldn't have McCain on Fox anyway, but you can put McCain on like a Vassell
I was
or
gonna say he'd probably
a
be on like
Keldon
the cell.
Johnson. And I feel you can get away with that because on the offensive end, what the Spurs are thinking, or Castle too, what the Spurs are thinking is we have to get it to Wemby. I mean, he's the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't think you would get as many possessions as you would compared to other teams where they like hunt you.
Mm.
And I don't think the whoever you would have McCain on, whether it be like a Castle, a Keldon, or a Vassell, would be as effective as you would want them to be in that situation. So
Mhm.
you give McCain more minutes. I'd even try Isaiah Joe. I know he hasn't been
Yeah,
like the
I'd
high
start
leverage
Joe.
shooter for them that they like. His playoff shooting stats haven't been great over the last run, and however long this one's gone, run and a half. But you got to give him rope. Like he hasn't got enough PT at all.
Yeah, I thought trying Wiggins in this game particularly was a odd choice. I know he hardly played and like his minutes were bad, but like just the fact that he was kind of like the first one of those tertiary guard guys to come off the bench, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is the spot for that. Like that was just a weird Dagnall like trying to make a 3D chess move. And he was cold, man. Like he hadn't played. He wasn't a factor at all in their previous playoff series. So of course he's going to come in not shooting the ball well. Of course he's going to look out of place. So I thought that was weird. And I think you're right. I think Dagnall has to try different guys. It's going to be all about like trying to match these Spurs personnel wise. And like, I want to see Kenrich Williams a little bit. I want to see that more. I want to see big Jalen Williams. I want to see him out there trying to stretch the floor a little bit, being more physical defensively. Maybe you throw him on Wemby for some possessions. He's an innings eater in there. And yeah, I want to see more McCain, some Isaiah Joe. Like, I love Casey Wallace and like his defensive energy, and this one was great. But like, they will live with him shooting threes all day long, dude. Like I saw what they were doing with Wemby is they would have him guarding Kaysen, Wiggins, Dort, whoever that guard
Yeah.
is who like you don't trust as a shooter, and then he's just roaming because he's like, let him out there. Caruso too, even though Caruso's hitting threes, he's like, just let them. We'll live with that. I'm gonna roam. If Shea gets anywhere near my paint, I'm going there. And I think Joe and McCain are the two guys that expose that because you can't leave those guys or they will give you 30 every time you do that.
Do
Um,
you think it's plausible for them to, like I'm saying, to play both of them at the same time?
I mean,
Do you
they
think that
did
would
that.
work?
They did that and it worked all regular season. I don't know. It's a tougher matchup against San Antonio, obviously, because physically on the defensive end, that's
Yeah,
really
like my,
tough.
my question is, am I underplaying that the Spurs are able to exploit that when when the
On
Spurs
the
are on
other end,
offense?
I
Yeah.
think I think castle wise, you are undervaluing that a little bit. But I think in terms of Vassell and Keldon, I think you're kind of right. I think you can hide at least one of those guys on one of those two. Vassell offensively would scare me more, putting like Isaiah Joe on him. But I think you have to try it. Like at the end of the day, if what you've done hasn't worked, you have to try everything. I mean, this is a 7 game series, and I think it'll go at least 6. I think it still goes 7. So Dagnall's going to try everything, and I'm sure that lineup will be played at some point.
Got a couple more points and a couple
Yeah, go ahead.
questions for you I want to throw at you real quick. So, well, we're in agreement that the big issue or the bigger issue for OKC on like which end is the offensive end, right?
I
Compared to
would,
defensively. Because their hands
yes,
are full, yeah, and the things that we're
I would
like
just edge it. Yes, yeah,
they have an embarrassment of riches. This is what point I want to get to here. Like they have so many guys that they can try that it's like they might not be able to even give them enough of a chance because it's like if you don't show me something in these 2 minutes, then
yeah. We'll
you're
move
done.
right.
And it's hard for guys to get rhythm like that. Do you think that can be to their detriment? Because like AJ Mitchell might just like get played out of the series because he wasn't great last night.
Yeah, he's another guy we haven't really talked about. Yeah, he played a ton last night and just never really got it going offensively. This is another. It's just San Antonio is literally just built to exploit OKC's flaws. Like they're literally made in a lab to beat OKC. So like this is a bad matchup for AJ Mitchell. Like he's an isolation scorer, and the Spurs are filled with strong, great perimeter defenders. Like it's not a good matchup for him. And I mean he holds up defensively, but he's another guy that like you kind of want to hide him on somebody. So yeah, dude, they just like for
Yeah,
a
they
team.
gotta commit to one edge of the sword. You
Yeah,
either go all in on the offense or you go all in on the stopping Wemby. I think I would go all in on the offense, let Wemby get his like on Chet and
mhm.
have Chet and Ihart play him one on one, and even Kenrich and Jalen Williams if you want to. Like I would run
I
four
think I'm
bigs.
with you. I think I'm with you on that.
I think that's the better way to go about it and make these other guys beat you and make them take possessions where they're hunting these mismatch or so-called mismatches on defense, and that gets the ball out of Wemby's hands. You can kind of bait them into doing that.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're gonna need the shooting out here And McCain adds another playmaking element for them. Like, I think he definitely needs to play more because he can actually create his own shot. So if you have three creators on the floor in J-Dub, Shea, and McCain, and you have all those guys on the perimeter, like you have an Isaiah Joe or whoever out there, it also allows Chet to play in the paint more and not have him camped on the perimeter as a shooter, which I think benefits him too.
Yeah.
The amount of issues that solves for them offensively, I think, is overwhelming. And then on the defensive end, it's like, if we can get the ball out of Wemby's hands at all costs, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's take our chances with the other Spurs beating us.
Yeah, for sure. And similarly on the defensive end for OKC, I agree with you that I think they'd be better off trying their luck guarding him one-on-one with their bigs and just kind of rotating guys in and out and going to their bigger wings/forwards more. But I think what OKC needs to do is take a page out of what San Antonio's doing and kind of like funnel the San Antonio offense to making Castle, Vassell, and I mean, Harper at this point, I think we can just kind of factor him in as he's gonna get his, which is fucking for him to be doing that to this point. We haven't talked about his performance yet. For him to have 24, 11, and 6 and 7 steals in this game.
Steals, yeah.
At 20 years old is ridiculous. But he's kind of a known factor at this point. Like, he's gonna get his in isolation. He's gonna get his in transition. So I think it's as good as I think Castle is. I think you're gonna have to make him beat you. Make Vassell hit shots, which he can, but it's just like you have to pick your poison in this series, and you just can't. You can't give Wemby matchups where if he seals Caruso, it's like the easiest dunk he's ever had in his life.
I'm with you, especially on the Castle point. And you said I might be underselling it on like how much Castle could take advantage of those matchups. I don't even really fucking care. Like, he had 11 turnovers last night.
And like, what's a Castle?
I'm cool to put McCain on him. Like, at the end of the day, there's 4 other bodies on the floor that can shift over or help over, and the OKC has active hands. Like, the more we can get the ball in Stephon Castle's hands, I think like that's the best way for this OKC defense to be able to take advantage. Last thing, because you mentioned like the Spurs team was built in a lab to beat OKC. Mm-hmm. So when I see, I think you said this as well. I see a lot of people with the same sentiment as well. It's like the 2 top sentiments that, top 3 game of the decade. And then this point that the Spurs are going to be like a problem for the rest of the NBA for a decade. I feel like with every team we say that about, there's a team down the line in 1 or 2 years that we say that was built in a lab to beat the Spurs.
Yeah,
so that team's coming sooner than you realize. Yeah. And
do you think the Wemby of it all kind of changes the calculus on that, though?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, if they do exactly the strategy I'm saying, and Wemby just owns Chet like this much, and that is like 100%, like that's gonna be how it is, they could sweep. Like, he's that special, and he takes this matchup that personally, that is like a 4 or 5 game series isn't out of the realm of possibility if he's that special. And I think there's sweeps in 5 game series that are closer than, the series length would indicate.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why they're hesitant to go at that, because they know that to be a fact. I'm giving Chet the benefit of the doubt still, but like Wemby does have the upper hand, obviously.
Yeah. Something that Zach Lowe and Rob Mahoney were talking about on the Zach Lowe show today was like, I mean, the Spurs have beaten OKC, if you include this game in the regular season games. They have beaten them 5 out of 6 times so far this season. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's a big enough sample size that maybe this is just a matchup that really tilts one way over the other. Like, maybe we're underselling how much, like, the Spurs kind of own them right now. But I still think that OKC can win this series for sure. And I still think that this goes 7 and will end on the OKC floor, which I guess my question to you is, did this change what you thought the outcome of the series would be? Or are we just like, we knew it was going to be a long series, whatever, it's a toss-up, every game's going to be a toss-up?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Just because, I mean, you can declare it out that like the Spurs are here and they're like they legitimately might win the NBA championship. I
Yeah.
feel like 25 to 50% more confident in saying that tonight than I did last night. And I'm not a Fox guy. You're not a Fox guy either, but especially just like with them out. And I'm interested to see the dynamic with them on the floor.
I was
'Cause
gonna
I
say,
don't think it helps.
let's get to that. Yeah. Well, I've two things on that. So on the Fox reentry. So one, I think you got obviously way more Harper in this one than you would have gotten if Fox is there, and you get way more Castle with the ball, which he had 11 assists in this one, and he did have 11 turnovers too, but a lot of
True.
them.
That yeah. We haven't talked about him at like all. I kind of didn't factor that in the calculus, but I don't think I hope this is a little eye opening for Mitch Johnson, but maybe like the Castle amount of turnovers thing makes him favor him over Castle. I don't know.
I I'm weirdly I'm not put off by the turnovers. Like I knew it was happening when I was watching. I was like, oh, he must have a ton of turnovers, but like I still thought he played really well, and I like him with the ball in his hands. I still trust him a lot, and I think the question you have to ask yourself if you're San Antonio is when Fox reenters the fold, do you still prioritize Castle in all on ball situations and way more Harper? Or is it like, are you trying to go back to like the balancing act thing? Like, do you think that anything changed in Mitch Johnson's brain after game one about how he's going to, because obviously Harper was coming off the bench with Fox there and he was playing significantly less minutes. And it's a lot of stretches where it's like Fox by himself out there. Do you think that any of that changes based on game one, or do you think that they
Yeah,
just
no,
go
I
back to their
certainly
guns?
I certainly think Harper plays more. Like I think he's
Yeah.
a 32 plus minute per game guy the rest of the way. No, I think the conversation is what I was talking about. It like how much it's going to be Fox or Castle battling for like a majority of the minutes,
Really?
in my opinion. Yeah, it has to be. The 11 turnovers thing, I can't play that off.
No,
That's
but it,
a real tangible thing, and
no,
especially with the team
yeah,
like
no, I
active
agree.
hands that OKC has, that's going to be something that they'll be able to exploit and are going to try to exploit for the rest of the series.
Hmm.
No question about it. And I do think he played, like, besides that, he played a good game as well. But I mean, there's no doubt about like, oh, that's 11 possessions you're giving away.
Yeah, I'm not as convinced that one game will change. Like philosophy is like entrenched. Like your philosophy is how you're going to go about things, and I don't think, especially for a Spurs team like this that is so built on like a foundation and like principles over overreacting to a game or like a half or anything. I still think that in Mitch Johnson's head, Castle is more ingrained in like the starting core of this team than Harper. And I think he likes what Harper gives them as he comes in and he's the guy. Instead of like
Do you mean
him.
start like, do you mean that literally like starting core? Because coaches start guys just as,
Yeah, no, but what I'm
yeah,
saying
who
is
would like
what
play
I'm
10
saying
minutes.
is
You
your
mean closing
lineups.
lineup.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
lineups, and I'm
Like
talking
the team
about
you're closing with, your best
and
five.
yeah, and what I'm saying is when Harper's on the floor, I think Mitch Johnson wants him to be the guy versus when I think he's out there with both Castle and Fox, he's like a tertiary guy, which he's still good. He's still very good in that role, but I don't think that that's where they want him to be. And I think that's why they still bring him off the bench despite how great he's been. Is like, I think they just want him when he comes on the floor to just be the full version of Dylan Harper versus like Castle is always going to be kind of the facilitator, great defender on the perimeter. Like he's that guy. And he's like, he kind of just fits more with like everything they do in all their lineups versus I think they want like a version of Harper, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You have to, at the end of the day, you have to have Harper on the floor though.
Yeah, no, I
It,
agree. I think there's a real risk of Fox coming in, and obviously San Antonio fans were berating me on Reddit for saying this, but I think there's a real risk that Fox comes in and like they immediately lose and like
yeah,
this
no,
starts to swing back in
I
OKC's favor.
agree. I think you need Harper out there, and like I would still lean Castle, like even with what I'm saying over Fox.
Hmm.
I'm just saying that should be the conversation. Which one of
Versus, yeah,
yeah, because I think Fox is going to cut down those turnovers in half,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just defensively like he's not the same caliber of defender as Castle is, size wise, like everything like that matters, and I think I put more weight to that.
Yeah, and also you got, I will say Harper, he had a huge bucket in overtime, but like there was a stretch towards the end of the fourth quarter and the first overtime where he looked like the moment was like a little big. It was the first time I've been like, oh, he looks like flustered out there,
He's
and
probably
like,
gassed. I mean,
yeah,
he
for
hasn't
sure.
played that
It's
many
the
minutes,
most
and
minutes he's played all
and then it
season.
went to double overtime.
But I do think that having Fox for moments like that, just to like steady the ship a little bit, is big. You just have to really be. I think Mitch Johnson really has to balance this all well. And I think there's a way to do it where you bring Fox in and it doesn't fuck up the dynamic with Harper still ascending and Castle being there. I'm just skeptical about whether or not he does that the
Yeah.
right way right away.
I mean, if they're smart, they can play this injury as we bring him off the bench in like game 2. And then if that works, then we roll with it. Like you can optics wise, it's not
Like
like
you
you're
basically
benching
just
him.
flip his
Yeah,
and
it's
Harper's
like
role.
Ant came off the bench in game 1 against San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
You can pull that.
Yeah.
And you ease him back in, but if it works, stick with it.
Yeah. I'm just skeptical they do that. I agree with you. I think if you flip, I've been saying this, and we've all been saying this. Like I think Harper and Fox's roles should just be flipped, and then it's like perfect. I think Fox is a guy that comes off the bench and gives you a creator and someone who you just can count on to give you offense. And he plays well with Wemby, and he can shoot, and he can hit open shots. Like I think that's so good for them. But like I do see how like optically and based on what they've built why that would be a pretty drastic change. I just think like it's worth it, especially if this is like a championship deciding decision. Like,
Would you rather have Fox like his minutes like match Wemby's, or would you rather have him as a guy who's majority in there at all times when Wemby's not on the court
I
and
don't
he's
know.
like your microwave scorer?
I don't love him being the anchor of lineups for them because I feel like those are lineups that might just get fucking destroyed in the series.
Who can be that? Like what Spur is Harper?
Yeah, Harper's that guy.
Okay.
Harper's the non-Wemby go create everything and just be Dylan Harper. I think that's their superpower right now.
And that's the way they've been doing it. And I
well,
tend to agree.
that's why
I tend to agree with that
that's
too. So you're back at square one basically
yeah,
with this question.
which is why I think that's what they're gonna do. Like I think they're just gonna go back to
Yeah.
Harper off the bench, being the offensive number one when Wemby's out, and like I can't really like
Yeah, you can't
it's
really
worked.
argue with
They
that.
won
Like when you
62
look at it from
games.
that lens, you can't argue with it because
Yeah,
it makes sense. The
right.
OKC would eat an offense alive with Fox as the engine without Wemby, and
Yeah, like you can just so see those like say it's like Fox, Champagny, Cornette, like that lineup.
yeah, can't Cornette play in the series too?
Yeah, I mean that's another topic here. Like the longer this goes, I know it's obviously every game's not going to be a double overtime game, but you have Vassell plays 51 minutes, Champagny plays 44, Wemby plays 49, Harper plays 47, Castle plays 49. No one else played more than 22, which was Keldon. Like they essentially had a 6-man rotation in this game.
Yeah, and that's a good way to look at a lot of these playoff series. After each game, what guy am I? That guy can't play.
Yeah, like
And
Hartenstein is the one for
it's
OKC.
yeah, it's 1-1 on each
Where
side.
they seem like they don't want him out there, and then Cornette's the guy for and like let me look at these minutes again. Like Jalen Williams, I think they went away from him. Big Jalen Williams for OKC. I think he's another guy that you might point to, but I think they should go back to him. But they might just try to re-enter different guys. I don't know. It's really interesting, and like things change. Like maybe next game Cornette's much better, and like it looks better, but. I mean, there's a good chance
Has
he's
Olynyk
just
got
not
any
playable.
run in these playoffs?
Who?
Olynyk?
I don't think they're running him out there. I don't think he's gotten run like all year, essentially.
Nah, he played 10 minutes. I mean, these are
How much were they up?
it's all the garbage time.
Yeah, I was
games in
gonna
the
say, how much
Minnesota
were they
series.
up when he played 10 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the game 2, 5, and 6 in the Minnesota series he played.
Yeah, they're not. They're. I mean, it's interesting though. Like, if Cornette really is completely unplayable, imagine they go to like Bismack Biyombo. It'd be kind of special.
He had some Memphis minutes last year. He played
But if
decent.
Cornette's unplayable, then Biyombo's going to be beyond unplayable. Because they're essentially like Cornette's got. I mean, Biyombo now is not the athlete Biyombo used to be. So like, you take the athleticism down a notch, and like, what do you really have with Biyombo at that point?
He might be a better rebounder.
Still,
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I've watched him play basketball.
I watched him last year. He played like a decent amount for the Grizzlies last year just because they had.
Yeah,
Or 2 years
true.
ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah,
when they had so
in
many
the
guys
tank
hurt.
year. Yeah,
I mean, Bart. How many minutes we give him Barnes?
Harrison,
6. Yeah.
yeah, that's another guy that they've taken out of their.
Yeah,
That's
it's
kind
probably
of been a
probably
thing
an
now.
uptick of Carter Bryant. Like that's where I'm looking here.
I would like that. His defense, dude, has been awesome.
Yeah.
He's just got to be more confident shooting the ball. He's a little trigger shy, and he passed up a couple threes that like it's one of those where like somebody's closing out and they're close enough where it just kind of spooked him a little bit, and he moved off the ball when it's just like just put that shit up, dude. They need you giving like six to
Yeah.
eight points.
Now my last point is like we talked like Caruso's probably the MVP for OKC last night,
Hmm.
but a part of me comes
By
away
far,
from this game looking at it like he should play less.
Caruso.
Yeah, because
Why is that?
again, it's back to the like you. I want these other Spurs guys to get baited into beating me versus Wemby, and he's not an effective Wemby defender, and we need more shooting. So where does his place
But he
lie in
was
this?
the shooting last night.
I know, but we both agree that's not
Yeah,
sustainable for a
I just
17
think
still.
he means too much to them from like a culture. Like, dude, his energy last night, beyond like how well he played, his defensive energy, going for loose balls, getting the crowd into it. He's just too. And Dagnall's not gonna like.
I'm not saying bench him. I'm just
No,
saying
I know,
like
just play him less. I just think
yeah
they're gonna ride him. I think he'll be less important to them as the series go. Like he'll still be integral to what they do, but he's obviously not going to be like the star of the show like he was last night again, I don't think.
yeah. I mean, it's just you never see this in the playoffs. Even like given it went double overtime, I get it, but like still,
The minute
how deep?
distribution, you mean?
Just how many guys played? I
Yeah.
mean, it's with the 13 guys or 12. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, 11.
6. And
And
Cambridge,
Wiggins only played 4 minutes.
and we're looking at Cambridge as a guy who could potentially
Yeah,
get more
I
minutes
want
and
him to
get
get
minutes
more.
in game 2. So
Yeah,
that'd
yeah.
be 13. Like,
Well, you'd move Wiggins out. He's not getting any minutes. And
yeah,
then
I
you
agree.
put Joe and Kenrich in.
Yeah, I don't think, yeah. So it's probably 2 guys on OKC we don't feel confident in playing, but like I'm not totally out on Iheart yet, but Wiggins is like the definitive
I'm
guy
not
for
out
me.
on
Like,
iHeart either. I think he's going to be
yeah.
important.
And then AJ Mitchell as well. That's what happens when you have this, like, they have an embarrassment of riches, man. And
Yeah.
it's guys who all kind of serve the same, like, at least the guards. And
That's a good point. And that kind of speaks to your Caruso point. Like, even if he's playing that well, OKC's strength in this, like their advantage in the same way that like San Antonio has shown that they have a lot of advantages over OKC. OKC's advantage is they're just so much deeper than San Antonio. Like this is really, and when you move Fox in there, it'll be more like a 7 or 8 man rotation. But this is really a very thin San Antonio rotation. So they have to rely on OKC that has to rely on, bringing more guys into the fold, giving them different looks. Like that's part of their superpower. And like they've over the course of this season played all these guys enough minutes that they're all comfortable. And like even though Wiggins doesn't look comfortable in that
yeah,
game, maybe
it's different. That like playoffs is a different ballgame. I've said the Grizzlies have deployed a 12-man rotation before,
but
but like
OKC did it last year. They rolled out. I mean, Wiggins was huge last year, and like they had guys come off the bench, and it was different games for different guys, kind of thing. And I think they're a different. That's a
agreed, but
different 12-man rotation than Memphis's 12-man rotation, where like
agreed.
the last guy you're bringing in is like a fringe NBA player.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But they also like when they went to distance in 2 series last year, like Denver had a very, condensed rotation. And
Yeah,
by the end of the series, they were worn down, but a lot of that was injuries, like the Gordon hamstring. I mean, Murray didn't look
right.
100%. Jokic looked exhausted out there. I mean, Wemby was the only guy on the court last night who didn't look tired by the end of that
Which
game.
is crazy, dude.
So, like, if there's no injuries for San Antonio, I definitely clean them going forward just because I trust their rotation more right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just went through it. Like, all these OKC guards are kind of question marks for me outside of Jay and J-Dub. And I mean, it's hard for a head coach to find like the guy out of that bunch every game that's going to be the glue.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. You're right. It's option paralysis for Dagnall. It's like it's like when you open a menu and there's like 30 things on it, and you're like, fuck, there's like 7 things I want. Versus if it's like a 5 option menu and you're like, it's so much easier. Yeah, I think he's gonna have to
especially
stick.
when the 7 things on those menu are the pretty much the same burger.
Yeah, I think he needs to stick to a, even if it's not a set of guys. I think every game he has to know what he wants to get out of the game and like what they're trying to throw at them, and then pick the guys based on that versus just being like on the fly, being like, ah, fuck, Kenrich, come on, get in here. We need to do something else. And I think they'll do that. And then like last year, we saw that they were able to pick and choose the right guys at the right times, and like they went to Kaysen more down the stretch last year, and that was big for them. And like Dort played less in some games, so we'll see. I also we didn't really talk much about Dort, but he's in that class of guards that you're mentioning, where it just you don't trust the offense, the shooting. He can get hot from three, but like you don't trust the shooting. And if he's just in there to be a body for Wemby, like he's not providing a ton of value right now in this series. So there's a lot of question marks. You're right with some of these OKC tertiary guys, and they're gonna have to figure it out. Um,
Yeah.
Bigger picture thing. Does any of this make you think that like in the offseason, OKC just need to do the Giannis thing? Like, because that would be
Uh,
such a fucking
no, I
like
mean, I think they
trump
need to.
card for the Wemby thing.
No, I think they would have to get a big that doesn't get played off so easily in series because Ihart was kind of like a non-factor in the Pacers series
But
last year too.
I think he could be the big that you put on Wemby. Like he's defended Wemby very well in matchups when the Bucks and the Spurs played. And I think like he could be not a Wemby stopper. Wemby's still going to get his, and they'll put him in situations where he'll get switched off and stuff. But I think that's a very valuable thing to be able to throw at the Spurs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm less there than I was like last year after
Yeah,
the
well, the
finals
health
though.
stuff with Giannis is just like,
It's that. It's also it just feels very short term too.
yeah, it changes the
Like
timeline.
completely. And the Spurs timeline has been 10, 15 years if like with this kind of player that Wemby is.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
Harper.
maybe you give yourself a chance to have the upper hand in the next 2 years, but like after that, and I think they value having all those picks a lot because they can find guys that they can pluck in to keep themselves like in contention and be this,
Yeah,
deep of a roster. Now, I think I would rather pay way less to go up and get like Mara or take a chance on a guy that you think has a better chance of being able to stop Wemby and coexisting with this court. Because I think there's guys out there. I mean, the game's changing. There'll be an alien in like 2 years we don't know about who will be probably very effective at giving Wemby issues. That's just the way it goes.
yeah.
Maybe the guy Zach Edey in Memphis. Who knows?
Holy shit, let's go.
Yeah,
Cam Boozer, let's go.
yeah. You said it at the top. This team, the Spurs team's built in the lab to, beat OKC pretty much.
Mhm.
Like that's their purpose. So you gotta pull the trump card on them and neutralize Wemby. It's the root of the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Like, so if it's not through the draft, like you said with Mara, and they are going with like in a similar way that they made the Hartenstein move and that they made the Caruso move. Say they try to go that way where it's more of like a smaller trade or free agency move. What's like a guy that you think moves the needle in like a real way? Or
Dude,
like a
that would be
type of
so.
guy.
I think like Colin Murray Boyles would be so sick for them,
CMB? Yeah, dude.
and they're not gonna be able to get him. But like
No, Toronto's
that
never gonna trade him.
that's
Yeah.
exactly. It's not even the size. It's more size than what they're throwing at him right now with these small guards. I still think that's like the archetype of kind of guy, though.
Well, Sorber is that archetype? Like we haven't talked about like
Yeah,
Thomas Sorber's going to be back next year, and he was like a very good prospect, and he is that
yeah.
kind of guy.
I
He's
mean,
like,
so like if they have that in the building, then yeah, I can't speak on that. Then no.
yeah. I mean, maybe it's you draft Yaxel or Mara, because like Yaxel's another guy who scales up defensively and can shoot, and then you just hope that Sorber is going to be good,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
maybe
because
that's what they try to do.
Ihart's out the door after this.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. So I mean, you're basically finding a replacement for him. It's not like
yeah.
it's got to be
It's the second
Sorber
big, yeah.
or go get another guy. we're going long in the series, but like it's just
Well,
it's
it's a
so
special
interesting. Yeah.
series, dude.
One guy we didn't talk about for San Antonio that I feel like potentially could look funny in the light down the line in the series, Champagny. Like shouldn't OKC
He held
be?
up really well defensively yesterday.
He did,
That
but
showed
shouldn't
more than his
OKC?
shooting.
Yeah, shouldn't OKC just live with every look he takes? Like I think any 38%
Yeah.
shooter and below, I'm living with it.
Yeah, especially if
I don't
Wemby's.
really trust him as a shooter in like this high leverage of a series.
Yeah, I mean, he was 3 for 11 from three last night.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think that's kind of what I was speaking to earlier is like, I think OKC has to shift their defense to making Champagny, Vassell, those guys, Carter
Yeah.
Bryant, make them make shots.
It's
I
easier said than done though. Like you can't like for San Antonio to do that to OKC, it's easier for them because they don't have a 7-4 fucking gremlin
yeah.
down low. Like
Yeah. Well, that's what Chet's supposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
be. Like Chet's supposed to be the one that's like that really is the crux of this matchup. Like just to put a bow on this. And we started with this, so it's good to end with it. This really just comes down to Chet has to be better because Chet being better also opens things up for SGA.
They have to allow him to be better too, though. Like I don't
Yeah.
put the full blame on him. He's not getting the matchups guarding 1v one-on-one
Yeah.
as much as he should, and he's not. They're using him as a spot up shooter on offense. Like at the end of the day, any big you put in that situation, it's not going to be great offensively.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Dagnall does. But yeah, we do have to move. We have a whole other series to get to here, which tips off tonight. Knicks, Cavs. Did not think it was going to be the Cavs in this one. Uno special, despite his brutal game seven performance again. He moves on and his Cavs move on. Kenny Atkinson gets the guys over the hump against JB Bickerstaff. Maybe that's a story for another time. But what do we think about this Knicks Cavs series? Where do you lean initially, and who's kind of your X factor in this one?
I lean Knicks.
Yeah,
My
in like a short series or
kind like
five?
6,
Yeah,
because you'll get the good Cavs and you'll get the bad Cavs,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have the luxury of playing the Raptors or the Pistons who are anemic on offense anymore. I mean, that's the crux of the issue. You're gonna get the bad-hearted. It's a given.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll give you his good games too. Mitchell will give you like his spike shooting nuts. It's just they can't put it together 4 out of 7 times in a 7-game series. Like they have they still have like they've got to the conference finals and that's like issue hasn't resolved itself yet.
Yeah.
And Jared Allen, like it's hit or miss with them too, like all these guys. So I just trust what the Knicks got right now more that they look like a well-oiled machine, and it's not even like matchup dependent. It's just like the Cavs aren't a consistent basketball team.
No.
And that's really all I can say. Part of me feels like Harden does this shit on purpose where he goes out and wins you a game like game 5 in Detroit.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mitchell,
same thing.
Now prove to me that you can win this for us. Like he's you know what I mean? Like it's almost like
putting the onus on him.
This can't just be a coincidence that this happens every time. Like you don't just have it sometimes like the juice sometimes and then not
I think
have
with
it
his age
every time at the end of the series.
I think with his age you could kind of say that at least for right now, like especially with the Sixers run and this run, I think you could put some of not having it at the end of long series on that. Like I'm not super shocked that like a 37-year-old Harden looks like a shell of himself in game 7 of the second round.
I get you, but like it's just the turnovers and it's not even being off shooting. It's like
it's being disinterested.
The helpless. It's a helpless feeling when you're watching him play.
Well, that's the thing with him is like it's almost more of a. And we've always said this about James. It's like it's more of a mental game with him. Like he looks disinterested. Like he's not involved, which is like the weird. And like in this one, he wasn't efficient shooting from the floor, but more than that, he just like wasn't part of the equation. It was just like Mitchell was special and that was that. And it didn't really matter what Harden was doing. Like he wasn't a factor. And it's weird to me that, as you said, time and time again, we saw it with him in Philly in game 7 against Boston. He just doesn't show up. And there was a horrifying report that came out of that Sixers series that somebody in the locker room leaked and said that they knew before that game that he was checked out, that like he was gonna shit the bed in that game and that he was disinterested. And like it was just something that they saw with like either his preparation or him in the locker room. And that's terrifying. Maybe he's just
Yeah.
like a self-saboteur. Like I don't know, like
Like, does he have a mental condition?
that's what I'm saying. I don't know what his deal is, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm getting to the point where I do believe it's sort of on purpose.
Yeah, like maybe he's a self-saboteur.
Yeah.
I'm like only half kidding. Like I don't know. It's a weird thing, but we do have to say like Mitchell and Mobley stepped up. Mobley was really good in the last 3 games of this series. Like, do you think
Yeah,
that there's
I mean,
anything to
this
him?
realistically, like the Cavs should have won that series against the Pistons in 6.
Yeah,
It was a very gimmicky game 6 from the
yeah.
Pistons,
Paul
where
Reed goes nuts,
and
yeah.
like Duncan Robinson shooting lights out, so he suddenly has like 3 times the gravity that he would on a normal night,
Mhm.
and then that opens up everything. I mean, his playmaking was great for
Yeah.
Paul Reed, and the Cavs just shit the bed. It's just like, for me, what did the Cavs do in the series that gives the Knicks any issue?
Well, this is what I wanted to bring up. If you are getting, because we've seen a great version of Mobley for now multiple games in a row. If you're getting a good version of Mobley, does that change the matchups with Cat? Because I think that's like the one thing that you might point to and be like, Allen and Mobley, who Jared Allen was great in game 7 too. Like, if you get good versions of them, does that change the matchup at all? I think that would be the one X factor on the Cavs side that potentially could give the Knicks a
I
different
guess, I mean, like, something like it's a look the Knicks haven't seen, if that's
Mhm.
like kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
he
if you
placed
think about it
double low in the
versus
first round,
if you think about it
and
versus Embiid,
yeah,
who just like wasn't
can't move. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, the way the Knicks are using their or running their offense right now, it's with him as a hub. So
Right.
it's like
But
they're running action for
Mobley
guys.
can step out. Like
Yeah,
it's not as easy for Cat to just like sit there with like 20 minutes of time and do like one of these passes. Like that's
true,
not going to be there.
true. But like, who is stopping any of those off ball actions?
I mean, they're going to go to the problem with the Cavs is Sam Merrill has stepped up, which means that you have a bad defender on the floor more, and Strus is now starting. So I love Strus, and I think he
Yeah, that's not a bad. Like, the truth
no
thing
no
is not a
no.
bad
I
thing for
think
them at
I
all.
think I think he holds up much better defensively than he probably gets credit for. But yeah, if it's Merrill, Strus, Allen, Mobley, Mitchell as like your, I mean, it'll probably be Harden, but I think this is a series where it's going to be really tough for Harden, man. Like from the jump.
And even if what you said does give Cat trouble with Mobley being on him, like, who's stopping Brunson?
Yeah, I mean
I mean, there's just so many issues for the Cavs when I look at it. It's like, to me,
yeah, they're the inferior team.
they're going to go down 2-0. If they take one on the road, then it'll open my eyes. But if they do, then it's going to be the formula where Harden has like one of his heroic performances, or Mitchell has a heroic performance.
That would be
It's
so
not
special.
like if the Cavs win a game in New York, is going to be like that's a version of them that's sustainable. It's just an outlier
Yeah,
performance for the series that they tend to have. So it's not even like outlier, but they can't do it for 4 games. They can only do it for like 2 or 3
yeah.
at the very max.
No, I agree. I have the Knicks in probably 5
Yeah.
in this. But yeah, I think I would like to see Keon Ellis in this when we talk about the Brunson matchup.
Yeah.
I think this is like a prime spot for Kenny Atkinson to just throw
Good
him
point.
back in.
Yeah.
Schroeder, he looked pretty fucking bad down the stretch in that Pistons series. A lot of turnovers. Don't really know what you get out of him, but maybe he gets some more run to like throw some different stuff at them.
He should, like, Brunson gave like campaign work 2 years ago. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
They just
it's
don't
not the series
have.
for Schroeder. I like the Keon Ellis point. I do. I think that's something they should look at.
Well, yeah, I mean they're gonna have to, and then like maybe you throw like wings at him, like Tyson or I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean Tyson didn't play Game 7, correct?
Yeah, it was like 4 minutes. Dean Wade, I think even you might see on Brunson for like stretches. He's another guy that holds up better defensively than he gets credit
Yeah,
for.
he's positive in like every lineup they run, but he's such a ghost. He's
like when you're
such a dilemma
watching,
for
it's
me.
just
Yeah.
like
What does
there's
he do?
nothing there,
Yeah.
but then you look at the box and you're like, oh, he was like a plus 16 and everybody else was a minus 5.
Yeah,
What
and
the fuck?
even more like advanced analytic. Like, he's a real dilemma for me, and he's the real case study for like how much you buy in the analytics.
Even beyond like, yeah, I guess, but even beyond analytics, eye test wise, he does hold up. Like defensively, that's very clear. Like he got into Cade's body a lot. Like he is a real playoff defender, which I mean, on the wing, they're gonna have to try different shit because
Yeah, like OG is gonna
offensively,
fucking eat. It's just
yeah, it's not a good matchup for them. I
yeah.
don't know. I'm trying to
I mean,
spin it a
I
thousand
could
different
even say
ways.
sweep. I'm saying five because
Yeah, could be.
they I I know how Mitchell and James Harden work. Like they're gonna give you one.
Yeah,
But
I think they
at
win
least,
one.
yeah.
They win one. I'd go Knicks in five. I don't think it's. I like you said. I struggle to see how they really challenge them that much, and how many levers they can really pull. I don't because even if you do go Keon Ellis, offensively, what does that look like? If you do go Tyson, who hasn't played great offensively, what does that look like? Like,
Yeah, they don't have the roster construction to have like a gimmicky win like the Pistons pulled off in game 6, which makes this much tougher to see them stretch this past 5 for me.
yeah,
You
the
know
only
what I mean?
gimmick they
Like
have
they
is
don't have
Udoka.
buttons to push. They're praying on a miracle. Like
Yeah,
they're praying on their stars to have heroic performances to win 4 out of 7 games. It's just not. It's not possible to me.
yeah. It's also just, and I was speaking to how well Mobley and Allen played. That also is something that like is so hit or miss from game to game. And like we know that over the years. Like those two just like one night you're like, this is one of the best front courts in the NBA. And then the next night you're like, where did they play? I don't remember watching them. So yeah, I don't know. I would bet so much money if the Cavs lose this series relatively quickly. But yeah, I think Mitchell probably gives them
It's funny because
one
this
40
this is the
point game.
furthest run they've made, and it's like the least excited I've been about any
Yeah.
iteration of like the Cavs since they got Donovan Mitchell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Well,
it's
it's
just
just the
funny as
run
shit.
was so
Yeah.
uninspiring. Like you have a Raptors team who's we all thought was by far the worst team in the playoffs, had nothing offensively, and you really struggled to get through that series, which was just like, ugh, that was gross. Then you play a Pistons team who we were down on because they struggled with their first round series.
Yeah.
And you get smacked in the mouth in a few games in that series, you look like you're going out, and then you come back and win it. For all the positive you can take for Mobley and Allen and even Mitchell in game 7, it's yeah, it's still like weirdly a disappointing run.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. And the Knicks now have a week of rest.
This would truly like if the Cavs pull this off, this would be more shocking to me than like the Knicks beating OKC in the finals.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
by far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Knicks right now are. I mean, we thought the Knicks prior to this OKC San Antonio game 1, we thought the Knicks were the biggest. I at least thought they were like
Yeah,
the biggest
I've turned the
threat.
corner, but I was way more hesitant than
Yeah,
you.
but
Yeah.
now, all right, let's get to that on the Knicks. Now that we've seen San Antonio and OKC in game 1, are we still at the point where we're like entertaining the Knicks? Because Ryan was not like all in, but he was like really entertaining the Knicks potentially winning the finals.
Definitely because I
Does
mean,
that
if
diminish at all after game 1?
it depends on how much weight you put on the regular season, but they gave the Spurs good trouble in the regular season. So if that if the Spurs does end up being the matchup, then you can like hold your head on that, or you know, kind
Hang your
of
hat on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
hang your hat. Thank you. Yes,
Special Beck praise.
Yeah, but like if they give Wemby issues like that, then possibly. I mean, listen, I'm having
Whoa,
any
give
the team.
Wemby. So are you? Wait. So we didn't get to this. Pick the OKC San Antonio series from today. What do you think? How do you think that unfolds?
I got to see Fox out there first, man. And how they run that. I'm sorry.
Cop out.
Yeah,
Cop out.
but dude, this is a very matchup dependent series, like
Yeah,
more
it
than
is. It is. I mean, we just went an hour
yeah,
about the matchups in that
yeah.
series. Yeah.
So I got to see it. If you're gun to my head, I lean Spurs because I just got to think like the alien
Yeah.
is real.
There's more questions on the
Yeah.
OKC side than the.
Yeah, but that could fucking flip after game 2.
Yeah.
That's my worry. Now for the Knicks, like what I talked about, if it is the Spurs, they have like the archetype of wing that they could deploy what OKC tried to do and be like it'd be a 180 of how successful they could be because
Yeah.
they height wise these guys have like 7 inches on Caruso, length as well, like that. OG and Mikel being able to use those guys interchangeably on him, but while also having Towns who's
I was gonna
proven to
say
be
Towns is
a decent Jokic stopper,
and
obviously
Mitrov.
that like they have a good rotation of bodies they could throw at him. Like that's definitely real. I think OKC could potentially like wipe them like in a 5-game series.
Mhm.
I feel like OKC has some different advantages over them that I could definitely point to, but like the Spurs series versus the Knicks is very interesting. And
Yeah,
that's
it
kind of what
is.
I'm rooting for at this point. Knicks Spurs, just because it's another matchup one that's like so inherently interesting to me going in.
Yeah. And especially now that you see what those Spurs guards are doing to OKC's guards, and you start to wonder like when it's when it's Brunson instead of Castle with the ball, and it's like these Knicks wings instead of Vassell and Keldon
Yeah.
Johnson, like yeah, you start to see the full picture. And like yeah, the Knicks are a real title contender. And I like even as long ago as like the day of the Knicks Sixers game one, I was not there with them. I thought they were really good. I thought they were coming out of the East, but I really thought they were just gonna like either get swept or lose in five to whoever came out of the West. I'm all the way to like
Same.
that's gonna be a great series,
Because
whoever
to
it is.
a much lesser extent of the Cavs, like the Knicks were an inconsistent version of themselves all season. Now in the
Yeah,
postseason, they turned that corner after game 3 in Atlanta. But still, like part of me, the devil on my shoulder still lingers in my head. Like if they just like don't commit to this philosophy that they've completely committed to and instilled in the postseason,
the cat hub.
that then it's yeah, then it's over. Like
Or if it looks
yeah,
bad and they go away from it, and then
yeah,
like it starts to look really bad.
yeah.
That's what, yeah. And then like, what is Mike
But the
Brown gonna
Cavs,
do?
to me, the Cavs don't have anything that they could throw at them this
No,
series
no,
that
no.
like
I was talking
makes
about in
it
the
like
final
don't yeah.
series. Yeah,
But yeah, that I agree, and that's when we would find out because I think it's just a foregone conclusion that the Knicks wipe the floor with the Cavs in the series.
yeah, I do too. I kind of wish we could just like fast forward that one, like
Yeah, it
simulate,
sucks.
like 2K, just
And I
simulate it.
also think that like to the point of people saying again, I don't know why I'm harping on this so much, but top 3 game of the last decade. I think it's because we needed that series to come through so much because this one is just like a sad puppy compared to
Yeah,
this
I
big
think we
dog
we
matchup.
might get like one special one in this series. Like Mitchell's gonna have like a 45
But
point
still, it
game.
like won't make you care.
No, but if it's early in the series, it might. Like if it's tonight, it will make you care.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Um,
like it has to be
yeah, it
that,
can't be
and
like game
yeah,
four when they're
yeah,
down,
yeah.
2-1. Yeah, but or down 3-0. What was I about to say? Oh no. When we're talking about top games of the last decade, and especially when we're talking about the Knicks, that Halliburton shot
Yeah.
game, that's like you throw that in there too. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely recency bias.
And even the
Um,
Halliburton versus the Cavs too.
yeah,
The winner that
but
like
the one thing that I think I weigh over all of those games is like I do think the historical significance of what we know that Wemby will become, and like that was the ascendancy game. Like whatever he ends up being, this will be when we first realize, okay, wait, he can genuinely be the greatest basketball player of all time if he continues on this path. Like that's the path
I
we're
hear you,
talking
but
about.
like LeBron's game, if you want to like compare it to like when that happened for LeBron, was the game against Detroit when
When he
he
took over in the
scores.
fourth. Yeah,
But
but
no,
still remember
no,
that game.
we remember that game, but nobody talks about it as like a top game.
But we do
And
when we
that
talk about his legacy.
we say that's the game he turned the corner. So I mean,
Well, that's
like
that's kind of my point.
yeah,
Is like because I'm sure there were better games than that,
yeah,
even in that playoffs. But like we remember that game because of its historical significance. So like I think that last night was so special because I think everyone kind of felt that it meant it was like a was a turning of the tides where we're seeing OKC look vulnerable for the first time in a while, even though Indy gave them a fucking hell of a fight last year. But this is now somebody in their conference who can really go toe to toe with them. And I just think seeing that and seeing Wemby perform to that degree in that moment, I just think the historical significance of that outweighs games that might have been better in terms of just like the basketball, like you said, like in that Nuggets series. But yeah, I can't believe we get a full series of that, dude. Like I'm like tired from watching that game. That was a
yeah.
war, man.
Is this every other day, or is there like two
Uh
rest days in between?
no, yeah, it's every other day because Cavs Knicks is Tuesday,
Dude, they
Thursday,
got way
Saturday,
better at that.
Monday.
They didn't used to do it like this.
Yeah, so it's just bam, bam, bam. And that's the other thing is like when we talk about San Antonio being thin over the course of this grueling series, does that sort of weigh on them more than the OKC side? But Beck, fucking A, man. We got another conference final matchup tonight. Who wins tonight? Is there any chance that Cleveland just has the Mitchell game tonight?
I give you a 1% chance. I think the Knicks fucked them
Is
up. But
what's the OG status for tonight? I don't think it matters, but
he's playing. He can rest in the third and fourth quarter. Like that's what I'm at with this, man. I don't
think
mean
it's
to
like
be like
30-point
so
blowout.
disrespectful, but just there's nothing the cat like the Cavs don't have like an ace up their sleeve. It's just like the good version of them. If their stars shows up or they don't.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see that one tonight. Hopefully it's more interesting than we think it is. And I hate like Cavs fans listening are gonna be like, oh, they counted us out, bulletin board. And like I would love to sit here and mull over all the matchups the way we did for OKC San Antonio, but I just really think it's much simpler.
I'm at the point where I would say I can confirm that betting companies are in the pockets of the NBA if the Cavs take both of these two games. Like that's really where I'm at.
What of the first two?
Because there's nothing to show me that the Cavs have the ability to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I just even just from like a vibes perspective.
I might just
like,
fucking bet the Cavs just because I kind of have
hedge
the
yourself.
feeling like Vegas might have something dirty up their sleeve.
Oh, hedge Vegas.
Yeah.
I like it. PGA Championship. Beck, you did well in your pool. I did not. What did you think about this tournament? Aaron Rai winning it. Some of the big dogs kind of falling off down the stretch. Rory's comments maybe too. What do we think?
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was an incredible tournament, like up there with the greats. And the finish isn't historical in terms of like very close finish. So people don't look at it in that light. And obviously there wasn't a star power winner like a Scheffler or Rory. And it was Aaron Rai, like out of nowhere. But I love that story.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool.
When you have 41 guys going into Sunday within 4 shots of the lead, like compared to the next closest in maybe a major all time, or if not, it's any other PGA championship being 18 and 93. Like, give me a break, man. This was fucking electric. And you had guys battling back. Like JT's final round was awesome. Rory coming back from a 4 over in the first round. I mean, this whole tournament was extravagant. You always kind of had the feeling Scheffler was going to turn the corner, and he never really did. Like the putter just wasn't there. I think this course created just an environment that you had to be disciplined. Like obviously the whole locations were a big talking point, and it was guys saying you kind of have to play every hole the same way.
Yeah.
But big drivers of the golf ball, like Rory and, for example, hitting it, into difficult lies isn't really the way to go. And you get a disciplined guy like Rai, who's not a great putter. He's able to take advantage of this course because he just plays it smart. But I'm happy for Aaron Rai. Like I'm a guy who gets blisters very easily. So I'm a double glove guy myself.
Yeah, you are a double glove guy.
I feel like people are going to be looking at me. I haven't gone to the range since. I'm low key kind of insecure about this. If I go to the range and people fucking start calling me Aaron Rai, but I might have to
put a clip up with a picture of you with the double gloves.
Yeah, that's where I was on that wave. So I respect it. It's a new wave and
special.
I think it's awesome. Like he's a big underdog winner. I'm interested to see where this goes for his career because, backstory on him and background, hard worker, very humble, honest guy. And I hope this is the start of something for him because I feel like people are already counting him out after he just won a major.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think also for me as a very casual golf fan, I love when we get like these kind of guys winning big tournaments and we get to like learn more about them because I think golf more than a lot of sports there's a lot more like human interest. It's so individual. There's so much more like focus on just one guy and you get to really dig into like their past, we learned about, his whole upbringing, which was really cool to find out about. So yeah, I thought it was a cool finish. I thought Smalley, of course, got piping hot at the end of Saturday. Looked like he might run away with the tournament and then obviously goes even on Sunday. and falls out. But
Yeah, and if Rye doesn't, just take it on the back nine, like Smalley has a chance there because he
yeah,
eagles what was it, 16? Yeah, I think he eagles 16 to get back to 6 under. And if Rye's even 8 under, like, there's at least excitement going into
yeah,
that. But yeah, he didn't have like the fans even probably hated him would have hated him more as a winner if he won. Like,
Smalley.
yeah, just because he's not like an exciting guy. And I think that's what this plays into. Like the dynamic of how tight it was, going into Sunday and guys thinking it was going to be, a shootout with the top dogs. I think that plays into why Rye isn't looked at in higher regard as a winner and there isn't as much excitement because he kind of didn't come out of nowhere on Sunday because he was 4 under, but he wasn't, if you had 10 guys you could pick on these fingers going into Sunday, he wasn't one of the 10. Except for me, because I put a ticket in for him
Special.
on
I
Saturday.
thought about him in my pool.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking pissed I didn't. Yeah, no, I think especially when we think about this tournament and like in the future, I think that Saturday is really the end of that day. Because I was asking my buddies, I was like, I can't remember the last time we had at one point there were 7 guys tied for first, like towards the end of the day on Saturday. And I Googled it, and that would have been, had that remained the case, the most guys tied for first in any PGA tournament in the history. So it was a historically tight field on Saturday, and obviously it sort of moved around as the day finished up. But yeah, it was a fun tournament. There were so many twists and turns. It felt like Rory just grabbed it and was going to run away with it on Sunday, and then he relinquished his lead, and then Rye comes in and takes it. I thought it was fun. I really
Yeah.
I don't see some of the complaints that people have made. I know for Ryan specifically, I get that. Like he sold out basically the end of his day for like a special finish, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, completely. And he didn't get to see the Rye putt at
Right,
17, like,
right.
which is the moment. So completely get it there.
And like the way that the way the last hole was for Rye, where it's like even he didn't even make like the one like medium putt, like he like left it like 2 feet short and had to
Yeah,
like
he was
walk
lights
up.
out though. He took
No, I
this
know, I
with
know.
a ton of star power in the fucking hunt,
Yeah, yeah. No,
which
but what I'm
it's
saying is
incredible.
like if you sell out for the 18th hole and like that's the finish, that is tough.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
but yeah, great tournament. Shout out to Aaron Rye. That's awesome. Hopefully this is the start of something big for him. But yeah, Phillies, any comments? Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, getting the boys going?
Yeah, I'm starting to get moved. I don't want to.
16-4? Come
Yeah,
on.
I counted them out. So
We both did.
long season, man. Long season.
Yeah.
But if it's really this simple for the Phillies just to get going as firing a manager, then fuck them. They're too big.
Like Joe Girardi. It's
Yeah.
literally the exact same
Yeah.
thing. We are set up for like a Demon World Series run. Kyle Schwarber is the man, leads the league in home runs right now. Bryce Harper looks great. Daycare looking a little better. Boom's been playing better lately. Stott's been
Yeah, so
playing better lately.
he gets benched for 2 full days, which is something Rob didn't do, and then he's
Yeah.
like a 1.100 OPS over the last week and some change now. So
Yeah.
yeah, good for him. I mean, but I know the story of Boom though. So,
Wheels comes back a demon too.
yeah, him being that good is the most.
That's the real thing that
And
changes things.
Sanchez getting completely going too.
Is that a little like, does that make you feel a little bit bad for Rob that he didn't really get Wheels back yet? Like,
They needed something to change.
You know,
So,
I agree. But like, he's sitting there at his house like, fucking A, man. Like they got Demon Wheels back.
no, he's probably on like a rocking chair on his fucking patio, like
Yeah.
chilling.
Wait, he's gonna finish out that
Yeah.
contract living good.
But yeah. So man, he wasn't gonna take another coaching job after that. So like I
That's
think
so
he's chilling.
awesome. That's so awesome. But
He got to manage for the first time in his career finally. So
yeah.
like no
Yeah, he
regrets for him.
was a lifetime bench coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out Donnie Baseball. Shout out Arsenal, won the league today. Up the Gunners.
Yes, sir.
Special first title in 21 years for them. I genuinely thought we were gonna blow it. But yeah, folks. Knicks, Cavs, game 1 tonight. OKC, San Antonio, game 2 tomorrow. We will see you in 49.